After these things, Jesus sought a moment of quiet reflection. He journeyed across the Sea of Galilee, also known as the Sea of Tiberias. The sun cast dancing reflections as his boat glided towards the eastern shore. He longed for a tranquil place to speak with his disciples and rest. A great multitude followed him, having witnessed his miracles. They came from every village, drawn by his wisdom, compassion, and power. Jesus ascended a mountain with his disciples, overlooking the crowd. The air was filled with a gentle breeze as the Passover drew near. As the sun set, Jesus saw the weariness and hunger of the crowd. He turned to Philip and asked, "When shall we buy bread that these may eat?" Jesus knew what he would do, testing Philip's faith with the question. Philip calculated the cost, overwhelmed by the scale of the problem. 200 pennyworth of bread is not sufficient for them, he replied. Andrew found a lad with 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes. He told Jesus, "There is a lad here which hath 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes." Andrew added, "But what are they among so many?" His words echoed the disciples' disbelief and despair. The disciples looked at Jesus, their faces reflecting confusion and doubt. Jesus remained calm, commanding his disciples, "Make the men sit down." The disciples, though still bewildered, obeyed without question. They moved among the throng, guiding the people to sit in orderly groups upon the lush, green grass that covered the mountain slope. The place was indeed abundant with grass, a soft carpet for the weary travelers. They arranged them in companies, perhaps of hundreds and 50s, creating a sense of order amidst the immense numbers. The air, once filled with murmurs of hunger and uncertainty, now held a quiet anticipation as the people settled down, their eyes fixed on Jesus. Then, Jesus took the 5 barley loaves and the 2 small fishes into his hands. He looked up towards the heavens, his gaze filled with reverence and gratitude. With a simple, heartfelt prayer, he gave thanks to God, his Father, for the humble meal. It was a moment of profound spiritual connection, a testament to his unwavering faith. As he finished his prayer, he began to break the loaves and the fish. He handed portions to his disciples, who then began to distribute the food to the waiting multitude. What happened next was a miracle, a wondrous display of divine power that defied all human understanding. As the disciples took the bread and fish from Jesus' hands, they found that the food did not diminish. Each time they reached for more, there was always enough. The loaves seemed to multiply in their very grasp, the small fishes growing larger and more numerous. Their initial skepticism quickly turned to awe, then to pure wonder. They moved through the seated crowds, their baskets never emptying, their faces alight with disbelief and joy. The people, too, watched in astonishment as the disciples returned again and again, their hands laden with fresh bread and fish. A wave of murmuring wonder swept through the multitude, followed by gasps of delight as they received their portions. Every man, woman, and child ate their fill. The hungry bellies were satisfied, the weariness replaced by a newfound energy. The children, who had been whimpering just moments before, now laughed and played, their mouths full of delicious bread and fish. The disciples continued to distribute until every single person had eaten as much as they desired. The sun had now dipped below the horizon, casting the mountain in a soft twilight glow. But the light of joy and amazement shone brightly on every face. When all were filled, and the last crumb had been offered, Jesus, ever mindful of the preciousness of God's blessings, instructed his disciples, "Gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost." This was a lesson not only in stewardship but also a final, tangible proof of the miracle. The disciples, still reeling from the incredible event, went among the groups, collecting every piece of leftover bread and fish. They gathered them together, and to their utter astonishment, they filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves and the 2 small fishes, 12 baskets, one for each disciple, overflowing with a miraculous abundance that remained over and above what had been eaten. The sight of the 12 full baskets solidified the truth of what they had witnessed. The multitude, who had come seeking healing and wisdom, now understood that they had been in the presence of something far greater. Their hearts swelled with a profound realization. Then those men, when they had seen the miracle that Jesus did, began to speak amongst themselves, their voices filled with conviction and awe. They declared, "This is of a truth that prophet that should come into the world." They recognized him not merely as a teacher or a healer, but as the promised one, the Messiah, whose coming had been foretold for generations. The miracle of the loaves and fishes was not just about feeding hungry bodies. It was about nourishing souls, revealing divine power, and confirming the true identity of Jesus, the Son of God, who had come to bring light and life to the world. And in that moment, under the vast, star-dusted sky, their faith was forever transformed, a testament to the boundless love and power of their Lord